Hello, everyone. This is Omar Khan. I'm joined by my colleague, Mark Kenney. Mark, why don't you introduce yourself? You're a very famous personality.
No, yeah, for sure. No, not quite. But thank you, Omar. Mark Kenney of Think Multifamily, and super excited to be talking to you today, Omar, about a very exciting topic that everyone loves.
Yeah, let's not let the cat out of the bag. It's depreciation, taxes, and why real estate is such a powerful tool to make sure that not only do you grow your wealth, you get to keep most of it as well, which is not possible with a lot of other investment vehicles. Mark, so why don't you start? Because, right before this, we were discussing your particular story and why it's been so powerful. And guys, just for the record, Mark's another very extremely successful real estate operator, just like ourselves. He's got a huge platform as well. We've known each other for a long time. And Mark and I were talking, and we thought, all these conversations we have privately, it might be very beneficial for other investors to hear this because you're now hearing from people who are actually in the weeds who do this for a living at scale. So, Mark, why don't you tell us about your story that we were discussing that led to this?
Yeah. Well, originally, which we didn't even touch upon, I was doing IT consulting, had an IT company, and for you made decent money doing that. And I remember talking to my CPA every year, going, "Man, what is going on, dude? Like I'm paying like through the nose on taxes. There have to be better ways to kind of like eliminate these taxes or defer them or reduce them." And that's kind of the way it is. I'm like, well, aren't there like a lot of people out there that make way more than I do that don't pay taxes and things like that? And he's like, well, you just, you pay the piper basically. Well, fast forward, started investing in syndications initially as an LP in 2013, and then 2015 started syndicating deals. And really since 2016 to 2023, I didn't pay any federal income tax. And we're also in Texas, so we don't have a state income tax. So didn't pay any taxes from, for those years. Now, 2024, with a lot of deals we sold, I did have to pay some taxes. But even that, my effective rate, even after everything came back in, was less than half of what I would pay if it was just normal W-2 income. So for me, not paying taxes for 7 years and then paying an effective rate that's less than half of my, the highest tax bracket I would have been in is substantially. And you can take that money, you can invest it. It's real money, right? You're keeping money in your pocket. It's not all on paper necessarily, depending on your tax situation. But for me, I was able to take that money, invest it in other, real estate and things like that. And it's substantial what you can do with it.
Yeah, and look, guys, to Mark's point, I'm a living example of this as well. Right before we had this video, I reached out to my controller to see, okay, how much taxes have I really paid in the last, I don't know, since 2019, 2020, whenever Maryland came on board. And I looking at my sheet now, I can't share it because I don't want to tell you all about my private details. But in effect, over the last 6 years, I have close to negative $50,000 in taxes. And I can tell you this, that my by God's grace, a little bit of work, good timing, our financial situation has improved significantly. And that was a lot of this was saving on taxes. The way I describe to people is, look, think about it. If you live in the state of California or New York or one of these high tax places, effectively your marginal tax rate is, in California, it's about 50%.
50.
Yeah, I think somebody was telling me it's like 51, 50, something like that. So think about it this way. For every dollar you make above, once you hit that threshold, which you hit pretty quickly, you're effectively paying more than 50 cents on the dollar to the government and retaining less. So for every dollar you make, more of it leaves you than you get to retain to spend on your whatever stuff you want to do. And here's the kicker. The problem is there is no investment on the planet, legitimate investment that I know of, that can consistently, as an example, in this case, kick off 50% a year. So
Right.
y'all got to focus on what the steps that take you from, ground zero to wherever you are right now. Those exact same playbook is not going to take you to the next level. And the next level is where Mark and I are playing, where not only are we making income, we are putting this cash that we save towards cash flow generating assets, we're saving on taxes along the way. These are deferrals, by the way. I just want to point out they're not avoidance schemes. These are deferrals. And a dollar earned today is worth more than a dollar tomorrow. Mark, you had some examples from a few of your investors as well, right? The one that I really like, we'll put it up on
Yeah,
screen.
I have a lot. I really do. Many people. One is an orthopedic surgeon. He cut his taxes down to 13%, his effective rate, and then sent me an email saying, he had a $40,000 refund. And he's like, what surgeon gets a $40,000 refund? But that's all through investing in multifamily real estate. And that's just one example, but there are many, many people that have made a lot of money on deals too, and still didn't pay taxes on the money they made because of the offsetting other depreciation and things like that. They can offset the gains. And, everyone's tax situation is different. But at the end of the day, there are significant tax benefits that can be achieved just from investing in multifamily real estate.
And look, guys, the way we look at it, Mark and I share a similar ethos in this. It's not like you're saving this money, so now you go not buy assets. The whole purpose of these exercises, hopefully, is that when you defer paying taxes, you get access to your money. Now you're not just going to go off on a vacation. Hopefully, you're not. You can do it, but hopefully, you don't. What you're really doing is taking all of this money and continuing to reinvest in cash flow assets, more tax write-offs. So these things build upon themselves over a period of time, as opposed to, hey, you got your money, let's go buy a new car.
No, that's a good point, Omar, because it does take planning to do this, right? It takes, if you're in a deal, we've had some deals been in 10 years, right? If you're not planning appropriately during that 10-year period, you get to the end, you're like, oh, well, now what's my tax impact, right? You need to keep track of that. But if you do that and you have a CPA, I'd also say make sure you have a CPA that understands real estate taxes. I mean, I can't tell you, I can give you example after example. Hundreds of text messages of CPA, from investors. CPAs don't understand taxes, things like that. One guy, this is a real example. He sent me a text, said he owed $167,000 in taxes. He didn't know what was going on, and anyways, he ended up sending me his K1, which is the tax document that you get as an investor. Long story short, he owed zero in taxes, and that's the real example. His CPA said he owes $167,000. And I'm not giving tax advice. I just looked at it and going, that's not right. Your CPA doesn't know what they're talking about. Send me your K1. I looked at it. I said, this is exactly what is wrong with what they're saying. And his CPA, she confirmed that, I was correct in that situation. So he went from owing $167,000 to zero in that particular example.
And I mean, think about it. That's something like close to $15,000 a month, if you think about it roughly.
That's right.
Right? For the entire year. And how many things can you do with, well, I know a lot of things I can do with $167,000. But look, guys, this is it. We want to do these small little snippets just because I want folks to look kind of behind the curtain, see what sponsors that are operating at scale, what are they looking at, what are they talking, how do we manage our affairs? Because then you'll really understand when people that are in the weeds, they're doing this for a reason. We're not doing this because we just got up one day like, all right, I guess I better do real estate. No, these are real reasons why operators like Mark have scaled over $1 billion. We've done 800 million in transactions, and we continue to do this. Real estate is not a get rich quick scheme. It's a get rich slowly, but stay rich scheme. But you've got a plan. You've got a plan for the future. Plan, and do the things today that nobody else is doing, so you can do things tomorrow that nobody else can even dream about.
100%. Couldn't agree more, Omar. And like you said, you and I are both living examples, and the many, many other examples of investors that I have personally, as well as you do, that have, really enjoyed the benefits of depreciation and investing in real estate.
Wonderful, Mark. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your feedback and thoughts. Guys, Mark, do you want to tell people how they can reach out to you, and then I'll tell them how they can reach out to me?
Absolutely. You can reach out to me at info@thinkmultifamily.com.
Wonderful. And guys, you can reach out to our platform, Boardwalk Wealth, at info@boardwalkwealth.com, or you can email me at omar@boardwalkwealth.com. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone.